Monster Handler Jen here, and I am joined by a very special guest, Monster Handler David.
Hi, Handler Helpers.
On this very special anniversary episode of Monster Cuisine. And why don't you tell me, what are we making today, Monster Handler David?
Well, Monster Handler Jen, we're here to make a rare jamboree cake.
Oh!
It's anniversary month and we want to celebrate.
That's right. And what better way to celebrate than with some good old chocolate cake?
Absolutely.
So, what are you gonna need for this amazing rare jamboree cake?
Super simple. We're going to use a box cake mix, which only needs water, eggs, and oil. Everything else is in the cake mix itself, so very simple for you to set up.
And then for your supplies, you're gonna need a mixing bowl, a whisk, a spatula, and a little cake pan. Now, first things first, Monster Handler David, I think we need to preheat our oven.
Yep.
I believe the cake mix says 350 is the temperature we need to get, but make sure you ask an adult to help you because you don't want to burn yourself on the oven. All right, Monster Handler David, why don't you start us off by cracking open that beautiful cake box.
All right, simple package mix. Now I'm going to try not to get this all over myself and the counter.
But if you make a mess, it's okay, as long as you clean it up after.
All right, all the cake mix into the bowl.
All right. What is the next ingredient we've got here, Monster Handler David?
We are going to need a cup of water. While Monster Handler Jen does that, I'm going to crack 3 eggs into the bowl. You can just add that right in, Jen.
Didn't even break any yolks, Monster Handler David. Good job. That's no yolk,
That's
if
no
you
yolk.
will.
We love our puns here. All right, and last ingredient is half a cup of oil.
Half a cup. Well, why don't you let me do that? Because
Yep.
I think you've got eggs on your
I'm
hands
gonna rinse
there.
my hands off.
So I'm gonna just pour that right over the mixture in here, and then I think we're ready to mix this cake mix up.
Simple as that,
Would
just
you
give
like
it a whisk.
to do the honors?
Sure, I will start whisking up. Cake mixes are super easy to work with. They've got basically everything that you need already in them. Normally when you're making a cake, you have to add things like baking soda or baking powder to help it rise up. But you get a cake mix and it's all mixed in there along with the flour and the cocoa powder in our case. So again, if you want to make this at home with your family, very easy to just grab a box cake mix and get it going.
Look at that whisking power, Monster Handler David.
I was baking last night, so I've got my practice in.
All
Pretty
right.
easy. You don't want to overmix it. You want to keep your cake nice and tender.
Before we put the cake mix into the pan is just lightly grease it, just so that we don't have any sticking.
Definitely. Grab you the oil there.
So I'm just gonna pour the smallest little bit of oil in our little pan, like that. And then I'm just gonna brush it around the edges, all up on the sides, just to make sure that our nice cake does not get stuck.
Perfect.
And there we go.
Excellent.
All right, Monster Handler David, I think the last thing we need to do is fill up our cake pan.
Yep, let's do that. So why don't I give you the spatula and I will hold this and you just scrape her in for us once we got a little bit left in there.
Ooh, now that looks decadent.
All right, if you want to give us a bit of a scrape.
We want to make sure we get as much out of here as possible.
Never waste a cake.
No, absolutely not. Now, I would like to remind people at home that in the monster world, we do not condone eating jamboree, rare jamboree, or epic jamboree. However, in the spirit of anniversary month, since we are recreating a cake version of these monsters, I guess this is okay.
Yeah, we know that the monsters love treats. And there's a big difference between the cupcakes that the monsters enjoy and jamboree itself.
Yes, so please don't eat jamboree. It's not going to be very happy if you try to take a bite out of it. All right, Monster Handler David, I think it's the moment of truth. I think we're
that's about
gonna
it.
pop this guy in the oven. So at home, you're probably gonna have a regular conventional oven. Here at Big Blue Bubble, we've got a little bit of a different oven, but make sure that you ask an adult for help before you open and get them to put it in the oven for you. All right, Monster Handler David, here we go. We're gonna pop that in there and we're gonna cook this for about 25 minutes before we check on it to see if it's done. All right, so Our cake base and top are now completely finished baking, and I think we're ready to decorate. What do you think, Monster Handler David?
Let's get to it.
All right, what do we need in order to decorate our cake, you may ask?
So, rare jamborees, chocolate cake,
Yes.
chocolate icing, and a whole bunch of decorations on it. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off by icing our cakes.
Yes, with great store-bought icing, but you can always make your own. Make sure you ask an adult for help first.
Absolutely. All right. Do you want to get started on the bottom layer, Jen?
I'm scared, but yes.
Have at it.
All right.
Now, my cake decorating experience has taught me to always put more on than you think you're gonna need. Just load it up on top and then spread it out afterwards.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Because I like ice.
I'd go even more. Before you even start spreading, just pile it on, Jen.
Okay. This feels so wrong.
No, this is how the pros do it.
Look at that molten chocolate icing.
Makes it easier to spread out if you throw a whole bunch on the top first.
It actually, yes.
Yeah.
It do. Now
Yeah.
make sure you cool your cakes down very well before you start icing. Otherwise, you might get into a little bit of a mess. So we want to get an even-ish layer.
So again, rare jamboree, there's a couple of like bare spots
Oh
on
yeah,
it.
that's okay.
That's fine. We're doing a jamboree inspired cake.
Yes.
So
Once again, don't eat jamboree.
don't eat jamboree.
What do you think, Monster Handler David?
I think it looks pretty good. Let's get our second jamboree layer on there.
All right, I'm gonna let you do that.
All right. So we've got our second layer here. Pop that right on top in the middle.
And wowie, it's really starting to take shape.
It has. All right, gonna get back to decorating the top of the cake. So again, lots of icing on the top. I'm just
The
gonna
more icing, the better.
I'm just gonna start pouring the rest of this out.
I like your style, Monster Handler David.
And it's just gonna cascade over the side. I'm gonna let this kind of drip over the
Look
sides.
at this expert icer over here. It's making me look bad.
Get some of those jamboree drips on the edge.
Oh yeah.
All right.
What an excellent job you've done, Monster Handler David.
Thank you. We still have some bare spots. Do we want to fill those in, or are we like?
I mean, we can stay to true rare jamboree fashion.
That is true. What do you guys think? I think it looks pretty good.
I think it looks pretty great, actually.
All right. So we've iced it up. What's next?
I think that we need to start decorating. Some chocolate covered, or I guess candy covered chocolates
Candy-covered
that we're
chocolates.
just gonna, casually just sprinkle around. Get some nice color in there.
So we've got some candy eyeballs to match Jamboree's eyes as well.
We sure do, and I believe we can see at least 6 eyes on rare jamboree, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
believe you're right. So pop a couple of these on there. That side. Right in there. And one down here.
Why not?
Our six,
Get them all over.
Our 6 eyes on Jamboree.
Gotta have them.
Looking pretty good.
I think it's looking pretty delectable, if you
Mhm.
ask me. All right, what do you think, Monster Handler David? Does
I
that
like
look
it.
candied up enough?
Looks pretty festive to me. So
You know what else is gonna make it really festive? Perhaps some rainbow decor sprinkles.
Absolutely.
For some extra effect.
We know that Jamboree likes to celebrate with its party blowers.
Sure does.
We've got 3 of those. Pop one in there. Pop one on that side.
And then maybe one on the top somewhere. Maybe not straight up,
And
but like a...
at an angle.
Yeah,
There we go.
that's looking fantastic.
It's looking pretty Jamboree to me.
Now, I think Jamboree, or Rare Jamboree, also has some pink candles in there. I
Yep.
believe there's 4 on the top and 2 on the bottom.
That
Is
sounds right to me.
So let's get 6 of these coral pink candles.
Excellent.
I'm gonna start putting some of those in here. A little bit lopsided for our good pal. There we go. And I think to finish it up, we've got our 2 Jamboree sparklers.
Our 2 Jamboree sparklers. One
Now,
on either side.
We would like to caution you and say, please don't light the sparklers indoors. And if you are gonna light sparklers, please ask an adult for help so that you don't hurt yourself.
Definitely.
Well, I think our creation is done. What do you think, Monster Handler David? I think it looks very Rare Jamboree.
I'm impressed. I think it looks very Rare Jamboree as well.
I'm
Let's
really
give it
proud
a
of us.
Bit of a twist here. Yeah.
Nice 360 view.
Very good.
It's really looking like a Rare Jamboree inspired
Inspired
cake,
by.
not a Rare Jamboree.
Very-
Everyone
Very monsterific.
can't stress it enough.
That's right. So during anniversary time, enjoy your treats just like monsters do. Don't eat your monsters, but you can definitely model them after them.
Absolutely. And
Cool.
I think we might have another trick up our sleeve.
Just one more. Well, during anniversary month this year, what else came out?
I believe a certain macaroni and cheese cake.
That's right, Epic Jamboree this year. So what could we do with an Epic Jamboree? We'll be taking a savory spin on an Epic Jamboree inspired cake by making a jalapeno cheddar cornbread with a rich, creamy mac and cheese to top it. Grease up your cast iron skillet with butter. In my case, I'm using bacon fat for extra flavor. And crack 4 eggs into a bowl. And add in your butter, add in your sugar, and whisk it all together. Next up, add in your milk and sour cream and whisk that to combine. Finally, add in all your dries, all your peppers, and all your cheese. Fold to incorporate. Don't mix it too much though. And dump it all into the skillet and cover with some extra cheese. Place it in the oven at 375 for 40 minutes. When it's done, top it all off with your favorite mac and cheese, and that's your Epic Jamboree.
I think we did pretty well, Monster Handler David. We made a
so.
beautiful rare jamboree inspired cake and also a cornbread mac and cheese epic jamboree.
Jalapeno to get that green in there in the cake portion, and some nice rich mac and cheese to cover the whole thing.
Nothing like a savory cake, am I right?
Absolutely.
Well, I'm excited to share this with the rest of the Monster Handlers. What about you?
Me too.
Let's go get them.